How to get straight A's in school and college. A lot of students, I realize, think that some students are just smart. Now, there are people who are genius in the world, whose talents are in their brains and they are simply smarter than the rest of the people. In the same way, like there are some people whose talents are in their voices, therefore they can become better singers. But succeeding in college or school doesn't really have to do much with talent, but it's more about using the right techniques, because the school or college curriculum is pretty designed for the average people. So you should never think that you're getting bad grades because you have bad memory or whatever excuse you have there. But the memory excuse is the most common one. Even I was giving it once upon a time. I myself actually struggled a lot at some point in my school, and honestly I was really getting bad grades, but as I have learned the proper way to study and learn, my grades initially improved, and in 90% of the cases I'm getting A. So no matter who you are, this is a recipe for you. The first thing I want to talk about here is the focus mode versus diffuse mode. These are two ways of thinking. Focus mode is when you're actually studying, when you're concentrating on something. Imagine the focus mode is something like an octopus in a part of your brain, and with each of its arm, it holds some ideas that surround it or related to whatever you're concentrating. Therefore, most of the times you don't come up with ideas outside the box when you're focused. They come when you're completely not focused at all, when you are in a bathroom, taking a shower, trying to sleep, exercise. So in order to understand something, you have to look at the bigger picture. You need some information from other parts of your brain, but the octopus arms don't reach there. That's why you have to kick out the octopus out of your mind and go into the diffuse mode. Diffuse mode is when you're not solving the problem directly, but you're giving a chance for your brain to connect the dots, to link the information that you got while concentrating to the rest of the part of your brain, so you can see the bigger picture. For example, you can go into the focus mode for 2 hours and switch to diffuse mode for some time and go back again to the focus mode. But this time you'll be able to study faster, understand better and deeper, because you have built the foundation and connected it to the rest of the part of your brain. Another reason why you have to go into the diffuse mode is because you have limited amount of willpower, and concentration takes a lot of it. And trust me, sleep is the best way to refuel your willpower. And if you want to know more about willpower, at the end of this video, there will be a link to a video where I explain how the willpower works. Don't do this mistake of studying for the whole night and directly go for the test. Going without sleeping the night before an examination can mean that even if you are perfectly prepared, your mind is simply unable to function properly, so you do poorly on the test. And I want to clarify something here. When I say that you have to take these breaks to go into the diffuse mode, that doesn't mean that you have to check your Facebook every 2 minutes to when you're supposed to be focused. Take these diffuse modes after you finish a chapter or something like that, because every distraction will slow you down by 15 to 25 minutes, and I have done a whole video talking about that. The second thing I want to talk about is the procrastination. If you're watching this video and saying that I'm so lazy that I can't even study for 1 hour and you're telling me to study for 2 hours, you're a type of person who keeps procrastinating, keeps delaying until the last minute of the test. I got something for you here. One of the reasons that we procrastinate is because we have this perception that starting doing that thing will make us uncomfortable. It's what actually makes us feel uncomfortable. Not the task itself, but the perception. So once you start the task, it just goes away. You have to study math, for example, but you have this perception that you don't feel like you want to study because it's going to make you feel uncomfortable. That imagination or that fear is the real problem. The fear of sitting in front of a textbook for 2 hours and figuring out what the heck all that confusing graphs mean. So you start rationalizing. You don't have time to finish it. You have time tomorrow. It's not tough, so you can do it later. If you study it now, you will forget by the time of the test, and so on. So to prevent the procrastination, just don't focus on the results. Don't think about the final outcome. Don't think about the 2 hours you have to spend in front of a confusing textbook, but focus on the process itself. Just tell to yourself, I'm going to put the textbook in front of me and I will try to understand something within 10 minutes. So once you start the process, that perception disappears because it's there only when you haven't started the work yet. Therefore, you'll be able to study for a longer period. So that's a very practical approach to end procrastination. So try it out, let me know in the comments how it went for you. Explain like I'm 5. This is probably the best way to master anything. For the last 2 years in my university, every single time once I learn something, a new chapter, a new concept, whatever, I try to teach it to someone else. We have this understanding that if we want to teach something, we have to completely understand it from A to Z, which is not correct. Well, if you're a teacher, then yes. But in school or college, you have a lot of classmates who probably have no idea what the heck class was about. And this is a great opportunity to master whatever you have learned by teaching it. Just be confident. And if you can't explain something, just leave it for the next time until you figure it out. The book Mind for Numbers is actually filled with tips on how to study more effectively. And if you guys like this video and want to see more, just let me know and I will probably make part 2 of it and share some more tips from the book.